Hey everybody, it's Rick Silva, B2B Gathering. I teach networking. I've been facilitating networking groups for this month will be 18 years. I run and facilitate monthly referral groups. The company's called B2B Gathering Inc. It's on the screen. So when I started my career, I was an engineer with Eastman Kodak, and then I became a recruiter with Cisco Systems, and I got laid off from both of those companies. And then in 2001, I sold jewelry. And then I did Yellow Pages. And in 2003, I met a lady named Sharon, and she was trying to get me to join her groups for Yellow Pages. And I thought, man, what you do sounds pretty cool. What come to find out, she was looking for someone to partner with and ultimately take her company over. So I partnered with her in August of 2003. While I was doing that, I was still selling jewelry. I got recruited by a jewelry store, and I was selling jewelry while I was building the groups. Started B2B Gathering April 1st, 2004, looking to start something different and much, much better than BNI and LaTip and all the other groups that were out there. And I'll get to how I did that. In 2008, in February 12th of 2008, we decided to get divorced with my first marriage. And then at the same time, if you guys recall, February, March was the real estate crash. My house went $300,000 under market. Couldn't sell it, did what's called a deed of trust transfer, and I handed the house over to her. And then I moved in with a friend of mine for a little while, and then he moved away. So I actually went bankrupt, and I had to move into my office. So again, 2008, lost my coaching clients. I still had my groups, though I lost a bunch of members. Lost everything. That's the car that got repossessed. I moved into my office. I put my clothes in the closets. I slept on that futon for 6 months, homeless. But I was still building my networking groups. But when you lose all your money and your house and everything, you got to kind of start from scratch with your life. So in 2010, my now wife, Marcella, joined one of my networking groups, and she helps people invest in land, and it's called land banking. So if you look at this picture, you can see 2002 backdated Google image. Google put these yellow lines in to show you where the roads ended up. But in this picture, there are no roads. If you knew how to buy the land and it was good land in the proper area, 50 to 150,000 an acre in this picture. And then after development comes in, the developers want to buy your land. It's 2 million to 7 million per acre. So there's my wife, Marcella. So what she was doing was helping people who had $50,000 to $2 million buy land when it looked like this, and then sell developers and create wealth. Well, I met her. She joined one of my groups, and that took me on a wave of from homelessness to multimillionaire over the next 8 years, helping people invest in land. So I'm a rainmaker for my wife's company, meaning I bring in most of the 750 transactions that we've done. She's got the real estate license. She handles all the important stuff. And I teach networking, one-on-one coaching, and I facilitate networking groups. And my primary love is the facilitation of networking groups. And we're going to get into what my groups are about and how I might be able to help you. So we won every award we could win with the company. It was from the networking groups and having a proper elevator speech that we're able to do all of this. So that's our third trip to Tahiti. That's Santorini. That's what a networking group looks like. If you ever wondered what a group looks like, that's what it looks like. You have a room full of professionals. They're all there trying to help each other get more referrals. We'll go in a little bit more detail here shortly. But again, I'm a networking coach. I'm a rainmaker for my wife's business. I was bankrupt and homeless in 2008, and now I'm not bankrupt and homeless anymore. I've had well over 6,000 one-on-one coffee meetings. I've probably at this point facilitated maybe 1,200 or 1,300 referral groups. So how I developed the B2B Gathering business model. So just to digress for a second, if you've ever said, or if you've ever heard anyone say, I want to be in a good networking group. I'm in a networking group, it just meets too often. I'm in a networking group, it meets too early. I'm in a networking group and they want to keep meeting face-to-face, having food, and I have no interest in meeting face-to-face. And expensive networking groups I meet weekly and I have food are very expensive. They have the wrong type of professionals. They just grind you down with all the rules and they get cliquey. If you've heard these things or said these things, or I'm in a networking group, it's not doing well, or I want to start one from scratch with the people I want in it, or the one I'm in is about to fall apart, I can help you with all of that. Okay. So I cater to lunch, in 18 years ago, found the best networkers I could find. I sat down at a restaurant in Pleasanton, California called Alberto's Cantina, and I put a digital recorder on the table and I asked this question: what do you hate about the networking groups you're in? And they started freaking out. I recorded and we're yelling, they meet too often, they meet too early. I don't want a professional business meeting in a restaurant. There's food. I don't want food in a professional business meeting. I don't want to fill out these crappy little leads forms. I don't want anybody handing me their little leads, so I have to go cold call people because they didn't know I was calling. I want referrals in a referral group, not leads in a referral group. There's too much pressure. It's too clicky. It's way too freaking expensive. So I tried to take everything that they complained about and develop a business model again 18 years ago. So my groups are once a month. They are 9 or noon. They're all virtual. We'll never go back to face-to-face. If I was to run a face-to-face networking group and somebody got COVID and God forbid died, I could get sued. So anybody who puts a networking group back into a restaurant or a conference room is setting themselves up to get in huge trouble. So my groups are virtual now, will always be virtual. Obviously, no food. I don't track or count the numbers of referrals that have been exchanged. Much less pressure and much lower cost. So that big networking company I was talking about has raised their prices 7 times since I made this slide. I made this slide 10 or 11 or 12 years ago. I've raised my prices once. So I want to go over this with you. I believe now they charge $275 for the registration fee. And then whatever the food is, where I live, it's $120 to $180 a quarter. So that's times 4. And now, to my knowledge, it's either $575 or $595 per year, plus the food, plus the registration fee. So you're dropping $1,200 to $1,800 a year to be in a group, and it's once a week. So it's 78 hours of what I call booty time. So here's a big difference. My group's once a month. I'll get to that in a second. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about this part first. I already did. That's once a month, 9 or noon, no food. We talked about that. So once a month, 9 or noon, no food are the big differences. And then the other biggies are there's no upfront, there's no registration fee. There's one fee. It's $495, and I give the first month complimentary, so it's $495 basically for 13 months. And that's the big difference. It's 1/3 of the cost. The other major advantages is that I do all of the one-on-one coaching for every single person before they can attend. I teach them elevator pitch. I teach them the basics of networking, primarily elevator pitch and the basics of power partnering or COI, which is center of influence. And I show them what we do during the meeting, all of that before they attend. So they get a lot of one-on-one help with me. With that, I'll do these last 2 slides, and then I'm going to just have a conversation with you about how I can help. So the 3 main reasons that you should be in a networking group. Number 1, it's a place to help other people build their business. So let me give you an example. If I like to use the example of a banker, because I had an experience with a banker that kind of set me up to use this as the explanation. So if you're in a networking group and you're a banker, and I say, how can you help other people build their business? A lot of times the banker will say, well, I can get them a loan and they can buy capital equipment. They can buy trucks. They could pay the architect to help them blow the wall and expand their business or relocate or buy a building or whatever. And I say, great, who does that help? And I'll always say, well, it helps the client. Who else does it help? It helps you as the banker, which makes you a salesperson. So I want to rewire your brain for no matter what you do for a living, real estate, mortgage, financial planner, CPA, whatever you do. I want you to think beyond how you can be personally helped, because that you're a salesperson. You're not a networker. So if that same banker was sitting with a client and that client said, I need to get a loan because we need to expand, we need to buy equipment, we need to relocate. Okay, a salesperson, quote unquote salesperson, would say, awesome, let's get you that loan so you can do all that stuff. A networker says, do you need a commercial mover? Do you need a commercial architect? Do you need a commercial real estate agent? If you're hiring, do you need a staffing company, alarm company, commercial painter, commercial architect, flooring, commercial furniture, IT, telephone company, software? What do you need to help your company expand? That's a networker. So if I say you go to a networking group to help other people build their business or make their life easier, if it has to do with you making a sale you're not going to have long-term success in the networking group. Now, so step one is help other people through your contacts. That's number one. Number two, I will teach you how to create your non-commissioned, non-salaried sales force. You're going to teach the other people in the room how to sell for you. If you do those two things properly, then and only then is it a place for you to generate business. I'm going to talk to you. Hey, Joel, Paula used to be in my groups years ago, so I'm going to talk to her first. I'll answer your questions, and I'll try to throw enough out there so if people watch this later who have no idea what we're talking about, hopefully they'll understand. So, Paula, hit me with what you want to know or need to know.
So for me, to your point, it's like more a refresher, because I remember being part of your groups, and it was a very exact experience you just described that resonated with me to even join to begin with, because it's such a different group than BNIs or B2Bs, where you have to pay all these fees. But also, I think the type of people you attracted, I think that was those professionals who you mentioned, the idea of power partners.
Yeah.
To this day, I use that term, right? And people sometimes know it and sometimes they don't know it.
Right.
Now I'm in the city, I'm back in real estate, and I would like to start a group here.
Yep.
And I'm glad it's online. So I guess my only question is, when you mentioned that you will help us to create those groups, will you be involved in selecting certain people and maybe interviewing them? Like, how will that look like?
Okay. Joel, do you have an initial question also, just like an upfront question?
My question was it was essentially the same as Paula's. Like, I'm just curious what your sort of role is in, facilitating the groups, so primarily exactly what Paula's thinking. I'm trying to do the same thing up where I live. And so I just, wanted to sort of understand how you find these people to be effective, power.
There's a lot inside of that. Number one, I will be facilitating the group. I will be doing the agenda, the roster. I'll be on every meeting, running it, keeping it on time, picking the presenters, keeping the agenda, keeping everything flowing. I'll be doing everything behind the scenes from here. You won't have anything to worry about because you're the ones that want to do this, and you're going to be the initial people who have to find the first few members. You're not going to pay for the group. So that $495 for you two, you won't be paying. What I did, and I'm not going to show this on screen. I have proprietary things I cannot let people know because it's like giving away the 16 herbs and spices of Kentucky Fried Chicken's chicken. I will tell you this. The 4 primary spots of a networking group, and Paula, you're doing residential or commercial?
Residential.
Perfect. So the first 4 industries of a networking group that you build on is residential real estate, mortgage lender, financial planner, P&C insurance. Those 4. And then what I did is I developed something called a cinnamon roll. And if you guys see my finger and you're making like if you roll up a carpet, when you look at it from the side, it looks like a cinnamon roll. So we start in the middle of the cinnamon roll. I'm trying to get my finger light up with the camera. And the first 4 industries, real estate, mortgage, financial planner, insurance. And then we start to build out from that. And we build out and we build out and we build out. And if you build it in a very specific order, then it's a very high percentage chance that you'll get the people who show up to join. What I can do in the beginning is give you email scripting that I have personally already typed that you can email out to people to see if they're interested in meeting with me to hear about the group. So you guys will be responsible for finding the people. And it's very simple to email, Paula, I mean, if you don't by now, you should have a mortgage lender, financial planner, insurance. You should have bucket loads of them. So I would teach you how to approach them and get them on with me to see if they want to be part of the core. Joel, the same thing with you. If you don't have access or you don't have people like that, I'll give you the scripting to get them interested. Worst case, we go on Chamber of Commerce websites. There's a million ways to find the people, but we need to find 4 to 6 people for the first meeting who are interested, willing, have the funds to join, all that kind of stuff. The other option is that if you have a BNI or a networking group, LaTip, Ali Lasson's Leads Club, that's not doing well, or they want to pull out because it costs too much, or they don't like the business model, we can pull that group and then plug people into that. So I will teach you how to find the people. You get them on with me, and I'll handle everything, including payment, running the group, coaching, elevator pitch, facilitation of the meeting, the scheduling, the email reminders, everything. All you guys got to do is find the people. That's the short answer.
Oh, as I recall, didn't you have also like a little cheat sheet of other professions once we kind of have a core?
Yeah.
Was like a list of all. Yeah.
Next time we meet, I will go over that with you. I'm just careful who I show that to, because that's the secret sauce. So that'll be on a training that will never be shown to the public. If somebody wants to have their own group, they're going to have to get on with me to see it. So yes, I will show you that face to face. The key is the meetings once a month. We all get to do our elevator pitch, talk to each other, see 3 10-minute presentations in each meeting. I'll go over that in more detail in the next time we talk. But it's elevator pitch, it's power partners, it's 3 10-minute presenters, and then in the meeting I set up your 3-on-3s that you're going to have with other members. The group's $495 a year for me to run the group, facilitate the group, one-on-one coach every single person, agenda, rosters, presentation schedule, everything. $495. Networking groups and referral groups are strictly for high quality referrals. It's facilitated in the meeting. When you're having your meeting with your clients, if you need to refer somebody to someone in the group, just open up your roster and send them the information. Hey, so thanks for watching. It's Rick Silva, B2B Gathering. If you're interested in working with me, where I run and build and facilitate your group, you get to participate for free. I'll show you how to find the first few members anywhere in the United States. If you want more information, it's www.b2bgathering.com, and my email address is rick@b2bgathering.com. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.